Hi everyone, what's up? My name is Hiva. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Here on my channel, I cover recent missing person cases. If you're into that type of content, go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's case. Today I want to talk about Megan Green, a mother of 3 from Georgia who went missing from Dothan, Alabama last Saturday. That day, on November 13th, Megan was last seen at a place called the Flying J Travel Center at around 3:30 a.m. Like the name implies, Flying J is a travel center. From what I can tell, it's essentially like a rest stop, but a little bit fancier. According to their website, there is a gas station, a public laundry, a driver's lounge, and even a game room. It's open 24 hours a day, and it's a stop along some bus routes, like for the Greyhound buses. It seems like a convenient stop, but why and how did Megan end up there at 3 a.m.? Why was she in Alabama at all? Like I said, she is from Georgia. According to her brother, James, Megan was on her way to help someone with a job. It hasn't been clarified what that job is or who she was helping. It is known, however, that her boyfriend was working at a home in Dothan, so maybe she went to help him. At around 9:30 on Friday night, Megan pulled her Chevy truck over into a WDHN parking lot. WDHN is a local news network, but in my opinion, that's irrelevant. I think that she just pulled over into the closest parking lot. By 9:35, authorities were also in the parking lot and had approached Megan's car to make sure that she was okay. I'm not sure if someone had called them and that's why they came to the parking lot, or if they had noticed her vehicle and thought that it was odd. According to the officers, something seemed off with Megan. They stated that she seemed tired, hungry, and upset. According to her brother, they also said that it seemed like she was running from something or from someone, so maybe she appeared on edge. After this interaction, Megan drove out of the parking lot, followed by deputies.
Her boyfriend had been doing work on a home in Dothan, but none of her relatives are sure why she may have been traveling here when she pulled her Chevy truck off the road and stopped in the WDHN parking lot Friday night. She seemed tired, hungry, and distraught. Houston County Sheriff's deputies came out to check on her.
The law said that she acted like she was scared of something or running from something, or I hadn't talked with her.
However, she only drove a few yards down the road before pulling over again, but this time on the opposite side of the road. At that point, it seems like authorities kept driving, or that they had gone in a different direction and hadn't noticed that she pulled over again. Later that night, though, there was another interaction between officers and Megan. Like I said, she had pulled over on the opposite side of the road. Again, I'm not sure if they noticed her car themselves or if someone else had called in that the truck had been stopped there for a while, but regardless, it turned out that Megan's car had run out of gas. This is when officers ended up taking her to the Flying J Travel Center, which again is where she was last seen.
Deputies followed her out of the parking lot, but she didn't get far. She ended up parking her truck a few yards away on the other side of the road. Later that night, deputies picked her up again.
They took her to the Flying J, I guess for her to get gas.
Like I mentioned, Flying J has a gas station. Maybe the plan was to take her there so that she could get gas for her car. According to her brother, someone did send her $15 on Cash App, so maybe that's what that was for. I tried to figure out how far the gas station is from her car. While I don't know exactly where her truck is parked, it is on Highway 52 and is a small distance from the WHN TV location, which, if you recall, was where she had stopped the first time. Depending on the route you take, the gas station is between 8 to 12 minutes away from her car. However, Megan never made it back to her truck. I don't know why authorities didn't take her back to her vehicle. Did they expect her to walk back? Maybe they offered and she insisted that she would find her own way back, or that a friend was coming to pick her up. However, Megan ended up staying at the Flying J for at least 5 hours. According to her brother James, he received 2 calls from her on Saturday morning. However, she had borrowed someone else's phone to make these calls. Based on the $15 transfer, I'm assuming that Megan did have her own phone, but that the battery was probably drained at this point. James said that one of the individuals who she borrowed a phone from was a man that she met in the parking lot who had been getting off of his Greyhound bus. This man called James and was apparently asking a lot of personal questions. This is confusing to me. Why was this man speaking to James instead of Megan? It kind of reminds me of the last call made by Candy Green Gonzalez to her mother, in which it seems like the person is basically speaking on her behalf instead of letting her speak. Like I said, this man had been asking a lot of personal questions, which threw James off. He later learned that this man has just been released from prison.
He said she used other people's cell phone to call him twice later that morning. He figures she was at the Flying J for at least 5 hours. She had met someone in the parking lot getting off a Greyhound bus that let her use his phone to make calls.
He's the one that called me and made me more concerned with everything on Sunday when he called me. And he kind of threw me off guard because of all the questions he was asking, personal questions. Come to find, he initially told me that he was just getting out of prison.
This man hasn't been publicly ID'd, but as far as I can tell, he is the last person to have been with Megan. After this phone call, it's not clear what happened or where Megan went. I wonder if she had stayed at the gas station for several hours with the intention of walking back to her car when it got lighter outside. By the time that the sun had come up, maybe her phone had turned off due to a low battery. Without her phone for directions, maybe Megan decided to ask someone for a ride, and then something happened from there. My only issue with this is that Megan never got the gas to refuel her car. Why would she ask someone to take her back to her truck knowing that she needed gas? As far as I know, she didn't make any other purchases either. If you recall, I mentioned earlier that officer stated that she was hungry, so why wouldn't she buy something to eat at the gas station if she was there for several hours? I'm not sure what to think, but I do have several questions about how this was handled and continues to be handled. When Megan initially stopped in the WDHN parking lot, officers noticed that she seemed scared or that she was off. They even said that it seemed like she was running from something or someone. Was this because she said something or because she was acting a certain way? She must have done or said something that was off enough for them to notice. Regardless of whether she wasn't in the right headspace or whether there was someone potentially after her, I don't think they should have simply let her drive off. Even if she insisted that everything was fine, Megan had that second interaction with officers when she was picked up and taken to the gas station. In my opinion, that was another opportunity that they could have taken to make sure that everything was okay. I'm not sure if it was the same officers who took her to the gas station as the ones from the parking lot earlier, but regardless, why wouldn't they make sure that she got back to her car? Another point I want to mention is that although Megan was reported on the 15th, she hasn't been listed on the city's website for missing persons. Yesterday, Dothan PD said that she has been listed on the NCIC and that they are actively looking into her case and trying to find video footage that may explain what happened. But they also highlighted that if she's happy where she's at, that's where the case stops.
I can tell you that it is being looked at just like every missing persons and missing juvenile case that we get. We take them as seriously as we do with any other case, and we take the appropriate logical investigative steps to bring all those to a resolution. She is an adult. However, if we find her and she is happy where she's at, then that is where the case stops.
Of course, that is a possibility, and maybe they emphasized it because they know more than the public does. However, considering this statement and the interactions on Friday night, I question their efforts going into it. All I'm saying here is that I hope that all angles are thoroughly considered. Megan's brother, James, is personally making sure to look into every lead and possibility.
And he's actively doing his duty to bring his sister home.
I've been researching every lead from the last person she talked with at the Flying J to her people, her friends around here. Anybody that has any kind of information whatsoever, I'm going all the way with every lead.
We just want to hear from her, to make sure she's all right.
He's been active on social media trying to raise awareness. One of his posts reads, "Don't forget what I've taught you. Whatever comes your way, be strong and let your mind be one step ahead of the rest. Keep your eyes open. When you're ready to come home, let me know. No matter where you end up, I will find a way there. Love you." He's also emphasized in other posts that she's a mother and that they need her to come home. I truly do hope that Megan is able to come home soon and that she's able to spend Thanksgiving with her family. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a description of Megan, but I will insert some pictures of her here. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please call the number down in the description below. That's all I have for this case. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. See you in my next one.